Welcome right into the college basketball preview show on the Grueling True Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today we're going to look at the Tuesday matchup in Wisconsin between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Indiana Hoosiers. If you're going to bet this game, go to BetMGM. It's the top sportsbook for betting on college basketball. You can click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. All right, guys, Wisconsin men earned a hard-fought victory over Northwestern on the road this past weekend. Now the Badgers are 17-5, 7-4 in the Big Ten, and they're headed home for a date with Indiana on Tuesday night. Wisconsin has went 2-2 over its last four, beating Northwestern and Nebraska, around losses to UCLA and Maryland. John Tonya has got back on track, leading the team in scoring in all four of those games with two 27-point games and a 24 in one of the others. Now the Indiana Hoosiers are struggling. They're 1-5, including three straight losses. They now sit at 14-8. They're 5-6 in the Big Ten. And at one point, they were sitting at 13-3 and looked in good shape. That was right after the USC win, and the wheels have fallen off. The Hoosiers have been in all of three of those defeats, losing by 9 to Northwestern. They lost by 1 to Maryland, 5 at Purdue over the weekend. The ESPN BPI gives Wisconsin an 82% chance of winning. So they've obviously seen Indiana play this year. Now the Hoosiers, I think the key to betting on this game, there's no point spread yet. I think it's going to come out somewhere between 4.5, 6.5 in favor of Wisconsin. When you're watching this game, the whole key is to see who's starting. If Coach Woodson, I use the word coach sparingly here, decides to start Malik Reneau and Umar Ballo together, immediately bet this game and take Wisconsin. All right, because it's been proven that those two together is a mess. Malik Reneau struggled the last game. He fouled out in 8 minutes. He turned the ball over 3 times. Indiana turned the ball over 20 times altogether. The issue here, and the biggest issue for Indiana playing Wisconsin, is this is a worse matchup than Purdue possibly, because Wisconsin's got 3 guys that can bomb it away from distance. They're very good at shooting the 3 ball. And if this turns into Indiana trading 2s for 3s, it's going to get really bad. It's going to get bad really quick. Now, the lineups are huge. The way Woodson subs is huge. All right? It just is. Because his substitution patterns are horrible. His inability to take a timeout at an opportune time is horrible. And right now, if you look at the accuracy from Wisconsin from 3-point range, they're number 1 in the Big Ten Conference at 39.3%. They hit 11 per game. And don't foul the Badgers. The Badgers lead the nation in free throws, shooting at 84.6. The Indiana Hoosiers couldn't even shoot 60% in their last loss against Purdue. All right, the worst free throw shooter on the Wisconsin team among the starters is Nolan Winter, who's 79.2. Now, I think that I underestimated Indiana's ability to manage Purdue both in atmosphere and matchups. You got to give credit to the Hoosiers for keeping the game competitive for all 40 minutes. Having said that, Wisconsin is a very bad matchup. I don't know how old Humpty Dumpty Coach Woodson could get them over the hump here, but the Badgers shoot and make 3-pointers like it's nothing. The Kohl Center has been a house of horrors for Indiana for more than 2 decades. The last time the Indiana Hoosiers won at Wisconsin, it was a different century. Indiana will have a size advantage, but I have a feeling this game's going to turn into trading 2s for 3s. The Indiana Hoosiers do not play hard except for Luke Goody. Luke Goody plays really hard, but there was propensity with Coach Woodson to take Goody out of the game at times that he shouldn't be. Anthony Leal, Indiana fans think, is playing great, and he is for Anthony Leal. But is he really? I mean, he doesn't really score the bucket. He makes a few plays here and there. He has a tendency to do a couple dirty things, which he did against Purdue. Trey Galloway is a guy who's hit or miss. You never know what you're going to get. Mackenzie Mbako, if he continues to play the way he has been, he does give Indiana a shot in this game. But remember, if the starters include Umar Ballo and Malik Reneau, there's trouble because Indiana can't defend the wing. And this will tell you this. If Mike Woodson comes out with Ballo and Reneau in the starting lineup, he has absolutely no clue what he's doing. I believe Mike Woodson has absolutely no clue what he's doing. Wisconsin has the better coach. They got the better three-point shooters. They got a couple big guys like Stephen Crowell underneath, 7-footers. They're going to give Ballo and Renew trouble. Probably Renew gets in foul trouble, or Ballo, if not both. If one of them gets in foul trouble, it's actually a good thing because they have to take one out. Hopefully it'll be Renew that gets in foul trouble if you're an IU fan, because Ballo is the better player. But when I look at this game, Indiana's played well at times over 3 games. They've played 3 good teams tough, 2 of them on the road. But if this game's close at the end, we know that Coach Woodson has no clue what he's doing. He can't draw up a play properly. And hell, at the end of the game, like you saw in Maryland, one of his players, Luke Goody, had to grab him, bring him back to shake hands with the coach. Luke Goody, in his first year with the Indiana Hoosiers, he was an Illinois Fighting Illini player last year, is the closest thing IU has to a leader. He seems to be about the only man that consistently cares about the Indiana on the front of that jersey. So I'm going to take the Wisconsin Badgers to win this game, 82-69. I would bet this up to Wisconsin minus 6.5. But if you're going to bet that, go to BetMGM, the top sportsbook for betting on college basketball. And once again, if you're watching on YouTube, the link in the description is inside the video. All right, guys, if you want to follow me on X, make sure you go to @GruelingTruth, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube, and check out thegruelingtruth.com. But for now, guys, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.